Welcome back to our 40K Book Club. I am Decurio Iomhar, and today I am joined by Decurio Chamlan. We will be reviewing Throne of Light by Guy Haley. Before we get into this, though, if you like what we do, please consider joining our Patreon. In addition to getting to see our episodes 2 days early, you also get access to some of our bonus content and a chance to vote on what topic we cover next on our Lorecast videos. We also now have a Discord server, free to all that wish to join our growing community. Links in the description below. Now, Chamlan, first of all, how you doing, man? It's been a while.
Uh, I don't know. I feel the warp overtaking me.
Sensible. Sensible.
It's the only reasonable response.
Yeah, I mean, struggle's real. Sea of Souls don't play. He was rebooting with the iClick there. You got anything you would like to add, or do we should get into this?
I mean, as much of a nothing introduction that I have back to myself, we can get into this, I guess, bridge of a novel. I wouldn't say a lot.
It's
Well,
it's telling. It's
we gotta
telling.
get
It's
into
telling. All right. All right.
my introduction is similar to my opinion on this.
Okie dokie. So that out of the way, what were your exceptions about the expectations about the book before you read it? Of course, what are your exceptions? I mean, let's go down the list here. But honestly, expectations. Did you have any? Did it meet them?
So, as usual, my back of the book expectations. One, absolutely, they did not handle the orc threat at Fenris. Period. They did not. We didn't see an orc threat at Fenris.
Mm-hmm.
We barely saw one near Fenris. We heard about it, but we didn't really do anything about it. Two, I guess I expected the word bears, which I was a little disappointed to see more of because we saw them in Gate of Bones.
Mm.
I was like, okay, why are we seeing them again? Because I kind of hoped that like we would move through other stuff in the Imperium Nihilus, but I guess since the oh gosh, what is it called? The series of books from the tabletop game that introduced the whole thing. I can't remember the Gathering Storm.
I was going to say because Psychic Awakening, Gathering Storm before that, and yeah, then,
Those like 7 books. Wordbearer's got a reboot there, so I guess that's what we're focusing on,
yeah,
which is a shame. Which gets down to a point that I make later, but and then finally, we do get to pick back up on Inquisitor Rostov, which we heard literally nothing from in the last book, which is a shame. But I also realized this dude on the cover is Rostov,
yes,
which I didn't recognize until they finally said he had blonde hair. I was like, I don't know who this guy is. Is it his soldier dude? They're like, no, this is just Rostov himself. His armor does not look very good.
yeah. I mean, they describe it as such. I just thought it would be a little bit more
Ornate.
ornate, snazzy, right? But I suppose that fits into
I
his
hate this
character.
stupid little backpack thing because they don't even say he has a power field, but that's for power fields and stuff.
I thought that was like going to be for like powering his suit. He's
It's
wearing it.
not a power suit. It's just ornate armor. They never say it's power armor.
I could have swore in the first novel they
Nah,
did.
it's like metal plated ceramite or something. If I'm recalling properly.
You know what? Shout out to our viewership if you know the answer.
Because look at these joints. These aren't power armor.
No, no, no. It's a I'm not sure. It might very well be ornate metal carapace armor, but like everything's different.
Either way,
Million
I hate
worlds.
that backpack shape. It looks dumb. I
Hmm.
never liked it.
We're kind of deviating from the expectation question, but you know what? Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Well, how the whole cover art conversation is in context. Viewership for a while now, we've been debating really whether we should talk about the cover art properly because we seem to bring it up every single time, and yet we don't have a formal question on it. And the question I did come up with, give me a second while I'm scrolling down here. What did you think about the cover art? You kind of already answered some of that, but a follow up question for a little bit more elaboration. Would you add or subtract anything to it?
This cover art is serviceable. I mean, like we know who these people are. This is the Sister of Silence that gets her neck broken. This is the Primaris Marine that hangs out with Fabian.
Yep.
This is Rostov, though you don't recognize it's Rostov until basically the end of the book. You're like, who is this guy for the entire time? And you're like, oh, it's this guy because they say Rostov has a weird mustache and blonde hair.
Hmm.
Because because I thought it was his soldier buddy, which is frustrating when these two characters are in the same book because they have such similar names that I never remember how to differentiate them properly. Is this like Lestrade and Lecrant?
Legrante, is the name, how it's actually said, at least in the audiobook. That's Lucian or Lucian, or I forget exactly what.
See what I mean?
He was so, I'm gonna politely say this one more time. You're gonna hear it throughout, but in case it isn't known as a disclaimer, I do not care for the Sons of Dorn, period. They do not engage me.
I mean, I don't even care about that. It's just the dude's name is similar to the soldier's name.
No, I say that because it immediately turns me off from giving a fuck
Well, don't
about
you
the
care
character.
about Black Crusaders
No, I hate Black Templars, man.
or Templars?
Not a yes. Well, obviously you don't have
Same
strong feelings.
difference.
Same difference, really.
They do that. They crusade.
I no, I get into that later. We'll discuss that later.
But also then like is it evocative?
No,
Would I change anything? I don't know which one of these Templars is which. I would have rather seen Botho.
yeah,
Um, also obligatory both of these joke, but like I don't like which one's Botho. I don't know.
he's not because he doesn't have black carapace. Yeah,
Exactly. So it's like I don't care. These guys are bad guys. Like
yeah,
why aren't the word bearers on the bottom of this? Like most of the other.
yeah. No, I was gonna talk about that.
Let's look at these other covers real quick. We never covered the other covers. We're not going to go through like each one individually, but
Yeah,
okay.
Venging
So
Sons, no bad
for
guys.
no
Yeah,
bad guys on the cover, we see Messenius down here. We see Agatha up here. At least I'm very certain it's Agatha.
that's Athagay. Yeah,
Okay, so we see Sister as the accompaniment, but this is just like more. They're an accompanying force of the people who are up in the top. So that's
mhm,
what we get with the bottom part. So we're establishing this. Same with here. Technically an accompanying force, although I don't know why we see these two on the Wolf Time with Primaris Marines in the background when did not happen
yeah, not at
at
all.
all. Okay, so what we're understanding here is that these Black Templars are the accompanying force of I'm gonna call him Lecrant, I guess. I honestly don't remember his name.
It's not that because there's only one person that have his name that sounds like that, and it's Lacrante,
Yeah,
and that's the guy that joined Rostov in the
I
first
thought
book.
that was Lestrade.
No,
Okay, then this guy's name is Lestrade.
it's not.
Well, I don't know what his name is.
Let me pull it up.
We've got a glossary, I guess.
Yeah, no, look at the Drama Dust persona. I know they have one online.
Lu Lucerne.
Lucerne.
I
That's right.
I always think of a hard K noise. Anyways, so we acknowledge these as accompanying forces of Lucerne.
Yeah,
Oh, whatever. It's they're very similar names,
yeah,
regardless.
yeah.
And like, okay, I guess, but like, this doesn't. I'm gonna be honest with you. These three characters are not the majority of the novel.
Point of contention. See, you know, let me just say, despite the fact that we're running a book club and we do have differing opinions about a lot of different stuff, when it comes to these books, for some reason, we have been kind of on the same wavelength. There's been some deviations, but like the reason why I say that is because my exact wordage was I don't see the need to include a character in the cover that gets strangled to death by some boring ass word bearer. I'd rather they put someone else up there mentioned in the main plot more.
Let's be fair.
Like Fabian.
She doesn't get strangled. She gets her neck broken.
Yeah, I mean, it's not it started out as a strangulation and then turned into a neck break. Yeah, you know, because he's a big mean Astartes. Ooh, scary word bearer.
Because I
Um,
mean, yeah, we can even measure like the majority importance of these characters here. Ghoulman, pretty important.
yeah,
Let's be honest.
Gilliman deserves more than one, and he
We're
is more than
we're
one.
going back to Avenging Zone. We're talking about this cover again. Ghoulman's important. I don't remember his name anymore, but he's the Primaris from
Arios.
Arios.
Yeah,
He's important.
we
He's so
see
we
him in
see
this
him
novel
in this
again.
book
Yeah,
get his teeth literally kicked in.
by a chosen, no less.
Agatha's always around.
Yeah, she is featured probably next to Gilliman, the most frequent character in this.
Frankly, Messenius is more important than
He's also
in my
featured a
opinion.
lot.
I'd rather
Yeah,
see him have a big image, but whatever.
yeah,
Okay, book two. The general, almost in the majority of the scenes, the older sister, majority of the scenes, and I'm assuming this is the one that dies.
yeah.
Hard to tell apart.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
he's the one that dies.
yeah. So important. one, because he's an enjoyable character, but two, because out of the Custodes, we see the most of him and he's important. All right. And then the third one, Null, Logrim, and the unnumbered son that I don't remember the name
The
of.
guy in the top left is actually the chapter master.
No, this is the chapter master because he has the axe.
He doesn't have red hair, he has gray.
Oh, you're right. I misappropriated where the axe is. Logrim on top, his storm collar with his little raven pet, and then the unnumbered son that I don't remember the name of.
Gaius.
Gaius, thank you. Uh, Reasonably important characters
All
overall.
main protagonist characters in
All
that
right.
novel. Yeah.
So Rostov is
Yes.
in more than most of it.
He is a main POV. He gets the billing.
Uh, Lucerne
Same.
is
I call him a subplot character.
he's in like 4 chapters.
Here's the thing. I I want I need to see Fabian on the main cover art because he was a main POV. That Sister of Silence did not deserve that.
Fabian would have been good here.
Yeah. I can't say if Lucerne should have been up there, but unfortunately he was part of the B plot. But like I looked, Fabian's in nothing. None of them. All the way to the end.
Well, they may not want to canonically show what Fabian looks like.
Yeah.
Why is Arios on here?
I because he's a popular character and he has a miniature.
That's a shame. We could have had Fabian there and it would have been better.
That'd be the one time it'd be like Fabian was a main point of view character throughout this entire novel. Like, and his plot went somewhere.
Yeah, or at least like have Agatha on the cover again.
Athagay, good choice. I contend that for the last art, I mean, I'm going to say this and then perhaps we should hold up for the future art when we do the episode inevitably. But Athagay 100% should have been in the last cover art of the last novel, and she wasn't. And I thought that was a missed opportunity. Maybe Van Leskus, that would have been preferred because not even you don't even see Van Leskus in any of these.
Yeah, but nobody.
I don't either, but credit where credit's due. She's in a lot of these novels, and she was featured pretty prominently. Problem is that she was an NPC.
She's just other naval captain than also a woman.
Well, she's the fleet mistress of Tertius.
I mean, that's
She's
cool.
or is it Primus at this point? I can't remember. Anyway, so yeah, in short, the last thing was I had to note was the whole lack of Fabian, and because it didn't show up, he hasn't shown up. Justice for Fabian. Moving on, though. Let me circle back around to the first question. You kind of got your expectations out of the way, unless you have something else you'd like to add in that regard.
No.
Okay, so I would say there was an expectation of seeing all the characters from the first novel and how they progressed over the years following the beginning of the Indominus Crusade. I want to say at this point it's been like what, 3-4 years, maybe.
Hashtag justice for Narwa.
We're never going to see Nora again. I'm letting you know that right now.
Hashtag justice for Narwa.
Nora is as she was designed to be,
Dead.
hopeless.
Dead.
A string of unfortunate events. Yes. For the most part, those expectations were met. I still feel Commodore Athagay fell short in my expectations, but this alludes more towards future novels than what exists in the here and now. So I wanted there to be some sort of chaos corruption there, but it never follows through.
It doesn't need to be chaos corruption. She just should have like had a stroke.
Something, but that doesn't happen either. I'm not going to spoil what happens. We'll get to that, but
it's
like,
definitely always one of those things of like, oh, is something gonna happen? It's like, dude, she probably just like crashes out, or her assistant like flushes her joint.
what I wanted most of all is the I don't remember which book it is in this series, but it's the one where it's focuses around the ship captain and going through the warp and then the insidiousness of chaos doing its thing. I really wish that they would have made that book around Athagay and like what happens to that crew happens to her. Let me know how you feel about that viewership. I'm genuinely curious to see if this is an idea that just is bouncing around or because, like, I don't know why nobody's thought about saying it out loud. To my knowledge, I don't think anybody has, but, like, it would have been brilliant to do that.
You can't just always be like chaos.
Well, I mean, get it. I
Mm.
got it. It's a good distinction of, like, this is what it takes to follow chaos in an insidiously subtle way. This is completely normal and they can't really nag onto that. And I guess the overall message there is that, drug abuse and addiction isn't enough to, have Slanesh give you the old winky poo, which I think is good. I do think that's a good move in the end, but like, because
The
there
issue
has to be an issue of extremity, you
the
know?
issue is that she ticks, like, 3 separate boxes.
Yeah,
She's hyper prideful.
yeah. She like has
She
all the
does she
hallmarks.
does a lot of drugs, and she's very bitter.
I feel like there should have been that happening in the Sea of Souls. Like that should have happened in that book. It didn't. I thought that was a missed opportunity. I think we need to move on, as I will ramble on about this for longer than was healthy. So, what did you like best about the book? The book. I don't know why I'm Belgian.
Are you gonna re-say that question, or
Nah, man, you know what I was trying to say.
okay, let's see here. Learning about the black ships is always pretty it was pretty cool. I mean, they are literally slave ships,
Yeah.
but, I appreciate Fabian being constantly put into situations that he's just not okay with. Hear more about the various war zones.
Yeah.
Then, let's see here. I'm just checking through my notes. I appreciated the mention of the Star Child, but I'm also worried that it's just gonna turn into a giant nothing burger. Because yeah, exactly. Because GameStop doesn't have the courage to do what's necessary, unlike Kylo Ren.
Uh-huh. It's a ballsy claim for somebody that killed Han Solo.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think Games Workshop has the courage to kill Han Solo.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, look,
Um,
how many named characters has Games Workshop killed? Run that by me.
they got a miniature. It ain't happening.
There you go. They don't have the courage to do it.
Do it. Do it. Kill Gilliman. Let's go.
Again,
Again. It's makes Snake Daddy do it again.
we literally have a perfectly good clone of Fulgrim lying around, and we don't do anything with it.
I know,
Games
right?
Workshop doesn't have courage.
Lacks a spine to do what is necessary, not only for the lulz, but also the engagement of the narrative. Impressed me. They won't. It's fine. Um, what'd you like least?
Let's see here. I have a section for this. Void battles. There was just like
It
oh, cool.
strikes again.
We're going like nice, cool, good book, good book. So oh, great void battle. Well, all right.
And you know, there was such a promise for this book.
But also like I forgot how much I dislike Yang, and how much I grew to dislike Tenebris.
We
So
yeah,
so
yeah.
there's a bit in the book where Tenebris is talking about like his ethos relates to
Mhm.
chaos,
Yeah.
and he's like, Yang, you have to understand that the universe is broken. It's been broken by chaos. And I'm like, all right, this is good. I like this. We're learning more about Tenebris, even though I don't really care because he's just been presented as like this Mary Sue of chaos. And you know, he's talking about it. He's like, the universe is broken and blah blah blah. I was like, oh, this is Gnostic. I like it. This is my opinion on 40K overall. Anyways, like, all right, we're going somewhere with this. Like, and so I will become immortal because if you cannot, because you must become a part. It's like you don't understand Gnostic ideology. You're a failure, Tenebris. Your plan is fruitless. You're gonna die or get exactly what you want, and it's not gonna be the way you want it. And I hate you even more.
I cannot wait till we read on.
And because you said that, I know it's probably gonna fail. I bet Yang's gonna kill you because she's like the I love chaos, and she's gonna survive, and then she's gonna like explode. And I'm kind of just hoping she just like pops like a balloon
Well, I guess we're gonna have to find out.
because I realized like this is technically in like my ending monologue, but like whatever, we're here now. Um, Tenebris and Yang are quite literally Star Wars characters in a 40K setting.
Really.
Tenebris and Yang have the same relationship that a Sith Lord and their apprentice has. If you delve deep down into it, Tenebris is a character who has a deeper understanding of the things that they are interacting with, even though they have a flawed conceit in that understanding, like most Sith. And he is under the presumption of you're at least entertaining, so I'll just teach you until you think you can kill me. And Yang, being the puppy dog that she is, has a very young mentality, which feels very much in line of like most Sith apprentices that you see, of just like power, glory, whatever, blah 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 blah, and I'll become the most powerful thing in the galaxy, and then I'll kill you, my master, because that's the rule of two. I'm not.
I
You think about it, I'm not
I'm
wrong,
laughing because he's got the board, he's pointing at the stuff, it's all coming together.
but it's true. I'm not wrong. Like and they've got this relationship, and it's just like these would literally work much better as Star Wars characters, but they don't feel like good 40K characters.
I suppose given what we know leading up to this point, it would make sense in a weird maturating sort of way that they would reach that point that they did at the end of this novel where it's like Tenebris is like, "What's your deal?"
I know you're not here because you actually care. What's your actual deal?
And then he has to threaten her life to get it out of her, and he's like, "I'm going to kill you.
Like,
I'm going to amass power because I am tired of being stuck to by everything. I'm going to assert my dominance, and I'm going to brutally murder you, and it's going to make me smile." And he's like, "There we go. You know what you are? I can get behind that. You're pleasant enough company. Let's see how the dice roll."
right, exactly. But like if you change the setting to Star Wars, would this not be a better conversation of like, this is 1,000% a Sith Lord that is entertained by their apprentice and is just waiting for them to draw the saber?
Genuinely, this is a thought I had as well when I was reading their exchanges all that time ago when I
And it's
first
why
read
I
it.
don't like them as 40K characters.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, they're
Because Tenebris just gets to do whatever he wants.
the issue I have with Tenebris is precisely why he is an engaging villain. In so much as like, you know, what is to be expected from a mustache twirling villain in a 40K setting. Because you know this dude's going to bite it at some point. He's going to bite it so unbelievably hard because at the end of the day, the Chaos Goats don't play that way. They may give you boons, they may push you and elevate you to suit their own needs, but at the end of the day, like they don't care.
Well, so Corferin brings up a really interesting point as well. There's some good discussions on the nature of chaos in this book. And
Mhm.
Corferin brings up the singular point of Tenebris, you don't have faith. So what you've been given is not a boon.
Mm,
What you've been given is the power to be the tool that chaos wants you to be.
exactly.
And if you don't accept that, you'll be punished. That's why Corferin raises the point of like, I don't like he doesn't look like other Chaos Marines because he has pure faith in Chaos.
Mhm.
And so Chaos is just like, yeah, sure, here's power. We don't need to mutate you. You look exactly the way we want you to because you believe. And Tenebris looks the way that he looks, which is an illithid. Basically, is as close an approximation as I can make in my head
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting as well.
because he's self-centered and thinks he understands more than he does. Which, to be fair, anytime the dude is even loosely punished, it's all part of the plan.
He does an
He get
excellent job of spinning it. Yeah.
he gets a mutation from Zeech. Guess what? I'll make a poultice out of it and get a dream vision out of it's just frustrating because nothing happens to Tenebris that was negative in this book overall. Not a bit. Not
Yeah.
a single itty bitty bit. At the end of the day, it there's a point where we talk about the ending, and I'll talk about what I feel on the ending. My point is, Tenebris is a Star Wars character.
Mm,
So is Yang, and that's why I don't like them in the 40K book.
fantastic. I think for my part, what I liked best about the book is I enjoyed the return to form in regards to the overarching narrative from multiple point of view characters converging towards the same goal. I like that format. I know that may not necessarily be your cup of tea.
Oh, it's 100% a resetting of the board.
Yeah.
Um,
You could tell that there was some backpedaling
which
in
makes
this.
me there wasn't backpedaling. That's not fair to say.
Oh,
Nobody there wasn't
course
retcon.
correction then?
There wasn't any retconning.
I
There was
didn't.
just like this is the current state of things. Let us show you where the board is.
Hmm.
This is basically okay, so there are 9 books. Don't get me wrong, they said there were gonna be 7 originally, and I still will not forgive Games Workshop for many things, but also saying they're gonna make 7 books and then making 9 is just as fruitless as saying we're gonna make 3 Horus Heresy books, and then here's 78 or something.
Yeah, I don't have the exact number. I think it's like 57 before the siege,
Right. But,
or is it 54?
also, where are my other 3 novellas, Games Workshop? You owe me 3 more novellas in The Siege. Where are they? You gave me 2 more Advent novels. I didn't ask for those.
And
I
the
want
how
the
that
other
the Age of Ruin was a bunch of novellas.
yeah, but there was the 2 novellas released in one singular book.
I mean, I have a
They're
feeling.
not new.
I know. They tie them up.
Great, cool. Where are the other 3? Anyways, um, this is basically now what they used to do, which is just make omnibuy
Uh,
and just be like, here's 3 books, here's 3 books, here's 3 books. It's 3 sets of omnibuy,
yeah,
which is fine. Each first book is resetting the board. Now, I don't know what book 7 does for setting up the board, but this is just what it feels like.
I can't recall rightly which one that is. I want to say that maybe Sea of Souls, or it's the one maybe after it. Whatever. For my part of what I disliked, real quick, I didn't care for the Black Templar subplot.
Fair.
I really felt this could have been removed or replaced with something more interesting.
Could have timed it better because, like, they give you that fake out of like, oh, this is where the betrayal happens when they're in the reactor, and it's like, no, it's like, okay, maybe they are on the up and up, and it's just been suspicious the entire time.
No,
So they are
no,
like,
no.
no, no. Oh wait, chapter before the end of the book. Here's a
Yeah.
betrayal.
So I do appreciate the perspective of there existing some emperor worshipping Astartes having issues with Call's meddling with the emperor's divine work, because that stands within reason that some very religious Astartes like would have had a problem with Call or do and didn't say anything or didn't do what the Black Templars basically had the balls to do, which was like rip and tear into each other over the divine
You
man
you
miracle.
lose you lose foothold in this argument the moment you're like, I'm gonna kill this Custodes.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It
obviously.
means you it's the same stupid argument that you hear for flesh tears when they're
Mhm.
like, "I'm gonna inflict my psychosis on this inquisitor who got too close to the truth," or the same stupid stuff that you hear about the Dark Angels and their paranoia,
Mhm.
and it's just like, "Okay, so your chapter deserves to be eradicated."
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I'm hearing. That's the only thing I'm hearing. You've become so utterly paranoid, deluded, and insane that you deserve to be removed from the board because you're more dangerous to be left alone.
And to the credit of Lucerne, he does exactly that. Like, after that chapter, he has an aside with, I wanna say it was Fabian? Yeah? He's like, "So what's going on with the Avignon or
Hey, Jevin.
Ab Angevin Crusade?" I can't say the
See,
word.
I like that this is the one name you can say.
French is hard for me.
And Jevin Crusade is a massive crusade in 40K's history.
Eh,
It, it's like a huge name.
Angevin, I believe, is my final answer.
Anyways,
Fact check me, please.
he's talking to
Well, anyway, them killing that entire
Port Bear.
torchbearer fleet, and then as a reprisal, them all being eradicated, save for the one trainee neophyte, I believe is the term for Black Templars that genuinely didn't agree with that, but couldn't have a vote and therefore wouldn't have been murdered by them as a consequence. That entire subplot rubbed me wrong. Essentially, it's exactly what you
There's
just
ju-
said.
there
Yeah.
it's just the Black Templars are on my list of chapters that deserve to be destroyed. They just
Uh-huh.
do. And you can be a fan of them and you can but there's no argument to be made of like, well, they had to because, blah blah blah. It's like, no, they didn't have to. You
Again,
can't tell me they had to.
but I do appreciate that that topic, that specific topic of, fans being like, "Wait a minute, why aren't there Emperor bothering Astartes fighting this?" And then you actually get that, and then it immediately gets put down into a hushed tone. It never happened. They're all dead. Whatever. Look the other way kind of scenario. Very 40K on brand, but at the same time, it was a nice. I got to give credit where it's due. I'm glad that they addressed that because we don't ever see that again. At least not in this series. I think that's a good point to move on to the next question. Chamlin, who is your favorite character and why?
I mean, any book the Fast Fabian is my favorite character,
Fabian.
obviously.
Fabian's a good choice.
Uh,
Tell you what, let's do like what we did with Caiaphas Cain.
yeah.
Let's remove Fabian
Let's
from the.
remove your choice. Let's remove your answer. Was Fabian your answer?
No,
Well, then there you go. Why does it have to be removed from the list?
I'm not the one that had the answer.
Characters are in the story.
Probably somewhere around
Four.
20. Yeah, I was going to say 20.
Nothing to really choose from.
I would disagree.
What are you gonna just say, Madam Soul?
I will tell you what my answer is since I get to give you the same courtesy you gave me. I quite enjoyed Inquisitor Rostov in this novel. We finally got to see more of him and gleaming into his motives. That bit with the warden was engaging for me as you started to thread things together on the nature of how he does this duty as an inquisitor. The simple way he manipulated the warden was a great touch, and I thought that explored his character more because he is the sort where he's like, I don't come in guns blazing. I'm subtle. I show up on planet like a shadow until I have no other recourse.
My issue is that because he's pursuing the Star Child, I don't expect him to survive, so I can't invest that much into him.
Well, I know the answer to that question, but I don't want to give it to
I
you.
mean, I'm just
So
saying, it just vibes like one of those like, oh, he's gonna have to sacrifice himself to protect his baby, and then it still won't do anything because it's gonna be a nothing burger of an answer. But that's 40K in a nutshell. If I were to give an answer that wasn't Fabian, probably Agatha's assistant. She
mhm,
was interesting. I really appreciated the briskness of her attitude and the concepts that naval personnel have of just like it's no use being upset for that long because we could be dead very quickly. And then she, goes on a date with Fabian and ends up in bed with him. Um,
good for Fabian. I'm
which,
proud of you.
which it was a little annoying when Agatha was like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna ask my assistant all about how well you did." It's like, "It's his first time. That's not fair, woman. What the heck?" He even expressly said, "I've never done this before," although she didn't believe him at all. So, whatever.
I
Uh,
mean, there was that whole aside he had where he's just like he was doing a horrible pickup sequence where he's like, you know, I was on medication because
but
and you it's just
thing, that wasn't a pickup. That was Fabian espousing too much biographical information because
he
he
doesn't
doesn't
get it. Yeah.
understand how to interact.
What's that? A scribe doesn't know how to talk to a woman?
Right, exactly. Well, he explained like, "Well, yeah, we were segregated. The last thing they wanted was a population boom. They gave us
Uh,
chemicals to suppress our libido." He's just explaining what he went through, and she doesn't believe him,
yeah.
which is fine because it does sound ridiculous like, on the face of it, where you'd be like, "I don't believe like, why would anybody believe that?" Because she's probably had some stupid line like that used on her before, but she's naval personnel. She's not scribe.
I enjoyed it regardless. It was good stuff. Finish your thought.
But yeah, no, I like her companion, even though I feel like the issue is that she can't rein in Agatha, so it's like, okay, I mean, you do feel kind of fruitless. I hope nobody kills you because otherwise Agatha is gonna, like, spiral, so whatever. It doesn't matter because like, Fabian's not gonna be around you forever, so
I mean, I think they have a pickup in between now and the end, but I think it's only like one occasion. And even then, I don't think it's in anything short of formal, but that's a digression. We'll get into it when we get into it. You kind of already answered this question, but I'm going to put it out there just for the sake of just having it out there.
what about your favorite character? You didn't answer.
I did. I said Rostov was
Oh,
my
that's
favorite.
right, you did say both.
Yeah. So, which, if any, characters did you dislike?
Other than Tenebrae, which I haven't liked for a while.
Day one,
Just
didn't
because
like
he's
him.
just because he's like a Mary Sue. You really
He gets his. Don't worry.
I mean, I don't care. Right now, he's still a little Mary Sue. Like, I don't
You
care.
got to let that ferment. It'll get there.
Yeah, it'll get worse until he finally loses. And then Yang will be the little Mary Sue that couldn't because they don't have models, so they can die.
Yang has a model.
Yang has a model. That's disgusting. That means that she lives. That's really sad.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, technically, Eisenhorn has a model and he's dead, so I can hope. But like, Yang is such a disappointingly uninteresting character. Holy God.
Well, there you have it, guys.
Um, an answer that isn't the pair. Didn't like any of the Black Templars.
They're not likable, and I think that was on
I mean, Boko's
purpose.
kinda alright, but he never had a lot of personality other than, like, "I don't agree with what's going on,
I mean,
sir."
a perfect analog for somebody that didn't have a say in how they would reply to a bunch of fanatic zealots killing each other over something that genuinely doesn't matter. But, to each their own. I enjoyed that his character, but I would confess that there wasn't much to like.
Yeah.
Um, hmm. For my part, definitely Tenebris and Theodore Yang. Once again, we find a place on the shelf of fucks given for both these characters. I really cannot stand either of them, despite the fact, in both cases in this novel, we gain more insight into what makes them tick and what motivates them. This is one of them very rare moments for me where there's character growth and I don't like it.
Here's my problem, is that Tenebris like I said, Tenebris's monologue is like, "I like it." It's like the Vince McMahon meme
Yeah.
where he's, like, in the chair.
And it just, yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
"Like,
just,
alright, yeah, yeah,
okay, yeah,
yeah." ruined. Immediate. That's my answer. The noble,
That
the
guy.
sacrifice noble.
Gavimir? Gavimir,
Here,
that's his name.
rub-a-dub guy,
Rub-a-dub guy.
rub-a-dub noble. So we look, all right. We since I finally remembered, we can at least bring it up. We'll just refer to it as the infamous bathtub scene. So
Yep,
like it is this is quite possibly the most ridiculous thing that I've ever had. I can't even say displeasure. Um Ever had the experience of reading in a 40K novel. And I have read Inquisition War.
I know, so have I.
And I've read a lot of Sandy Mitchell.
I think, for my part, before we get into a bit of a diatribe with this, at the time that I first read this bit, I completely glossed over it. I had to have Chamlin here go on about it to spark a remembrance of it. And then I reread it the second time. This is the third time I've reread it. Just put that on the record. But during the second time, I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, it's bad, but
It's nonsensical.
it is
Stupid.
nonsensical. It's very stupid.
It's funny in how bad it is. But like not bad as in the writing. Like it's just Guy Haley writing. But like it's so comical that it takes this little to turn somebody to chaos.
I have to believe that this is not a one and done thing. I have a feeling that she because it takes weeks before they get to that part.
But here's the thing, like it's not though. They make it very firm and very clear that she doesn't clean
Mhm.
until he says, "I swear," and then that's enough. That's enough to damn his soul immortally. Just saying that, and then she cleans. But that's all it takes.
I again, like we can take it within the context that was provided, and in that regard, you're absolutely right. But there's in my mind, it has to be
Haley,
there was an in between
if
because
Haley didn't write it, then I'm not gonna
there
be
was an illusion. No, there was an illusion, and because when they readdressed that character, it talked about how like about 2 or 3 weeks had gone by, and like he had learned some stuff from her, and she spent personal time with him, which I took that as what that meant.
I don't, because Yang has made it expressly clear that she used to do that and she refused to be that kind of person again. If she
Right.
had any choice in the matter.
Now, see, I acknowledge that because like she is exactly like
Well,
that,
she used
but
to.
I also know that she is just the sort of character to do that if it means she gets power. She will. She has. She will do it again.
So it's just a complete betrayal of the statements of her character previously.
Well, I mean,
So
that's a chaos cultist,
I
and
have even more reason to dislike her because she has no backbone.
I won't give you context,
But
and I
yes,
won't say yes or no.
don't
I
tell
mean,
me that she plays Squid Game with Tinnitus.
I will. That's funny. I will not say that because thankfully that doesn't happen.
Thank
I can tell you with complete sincerity of purpose, no bueno.
Okay,
Uh
good.
that's a no-go. That's a non-starter.
Good. I'm glad. It's just sad that she has no backbone to be like, I don't want to do this ever again in my life.
And then
And then she
proceeds to
does
do
it.
it. No, well, gee, it's almost like she's a chaos cultist and
Then here's the thing. You can be a chaos cultist and have a backbone.
mm,
Corfeiron.
exactly, but as a side note, fucking hate that guy. I don't like him as a character. But
I appreciated his commentary on the nature of
I almost hate him as much as I hate Erebus, but sometimes more because at least with Erebus, it's kind of a gimmick. But with Corferon, he's just a piece of shit.
here's the thing. Corfeiron. So there's a difference between a true believer and a fundamentalist.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying?
I do, yes.
Corfeiron truly believes in his there he's Corfeiron's level of faith is probably on par with the way that Moloch.
I knew you were going
Now,
to make a connection to that.
I'm not saying that I like Corfeiron. I
I got
appreciate
it.
his commentary,
I can appreciate his commentary too.
but the way that he expresses his faith is on level with Moloch because Moloch does the same kind of stuff where
Yeah,
he's like, I'm not raving, nor am I crazy. He'll just do the little things,
yeah.
and that's what matters. Now, Erebus is a fundamentalist.
Indeed, he is.
He is he is what's the term? He has drinking the juice, bled himself, and drank that to drink the juice again.
Yeah, loves it.
He's a nut job.
Indeed,
He makes people of true faith look bad,
indeed,
and he makes a point about it.
and he enjoys that he does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit too, but in a different
Well,
way.
the guy just like, we'll keep him around, I guess.
You gotta give credit where credit's due. The Dark Cardinal, love him or hate him, he's playing the long game, and but the rub of the matter, or perhaps what endears him as a character, is that he doesn't see it as a long game. He's just a believer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's just like, yeah, this is the nature of the game. So here we are.
you know,
Tenebris, you're gonna die one way or the other.
kind of just more or less just invoked a strong emotion from this bit that we just talked about. But follow up question still stands. Chamlin, did any part of this book evoke a strong emotion in you? And if so, which part and what emotion did it trigger?
All right. So there are three that stand out. Actually,
Hmm.
for once, I actually do have a response that isn't just like a cash out of it's a 40K book. The first actual true answer is I felt a lot of melancholy at the parting of the four of the Historitors. And you could just feel it. These people who have known each other for years, and you have felt that melancholy before. When you read this section, you know this feeling. Unless you're young, unless you're a teenager and you probably haven't felt it up to this point, but you
I,
will soon.
I mean, it's not inclusive. Everybody can feel like they're part of something and then realize they're never going to experience
Right.
it again.
I just mean if I were reading this when I was a teenager,
Wouldn't have gotten
I
it.
know I wouldn't have felt the way that I feel about it.
I'm inclined to agree with that sentiment
Um,
towards myself as well. Yeah.
but you know the melancholy of people in a situation that you know is ending, and it's it doesn't matter if you pass by the same ship again, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Um, Two, bathtub scene, which was just again astoundingly of just like what did I just read? I could read what are the names? Night Lord BDSM all day.
Mm.
I'd read that in a heartbeat. I would
Yeah. The
not
Talos novels.
I would not read um I would not read bathtub scene again.
I don't blame you. That one's rough.
Mainly because Yang is terrible. But
Mhm.
she can't be that good if it got this dude one time.
I mean, she must be a saint of the
This is
bathtub.
definitely drugs. There was a lot of drugs in that tub.
Yeah. He was definitely
Oh,
taken
that makes it
advantage
even
of.
worse. That makes it worse, right?
I know, I
It's
know,
like they
I know.
point to bring out like, oh yeah, this tub's now filled with like filth and drug water, but then
Yeah.
I just like, and then she has the gall to say, like before, she's like, I'm never doing this ever again. I never wanted to be this before, and I don't want to be it now. That's why I have power. And then she's immediately put back down in sub duty. Like such a sad character.
Well, Tenebris, as we have established, is a POS. So,
Well,
like,
that brings up the third point where at the ending of the novel,
mhm,
um, I felt really frustrated. I was just annoyed because like the Imperium had one advantage. Really, up until now, they had one advantage, and that was the scrap of information that they had on the Star Child because they got it from Madame Sol, and they're like, "We actually have information." And then all the psychers died, and you're like, "Cool." Like, there's no way they can get this now.
yeah,
Like, it doesn't matter if they siege the place, they can't get the information because all the psychers are dead.
mhm.
And then Tenebris just waltzes in there, floats up in the air, and is like, got it. We're leaving. Bye. I happen a thing too. Ha ha ha. I'm so special. I'm so special. I have a thing too. I just didn't tell anybody up until right now.
I like that he played Corferon into thinking he didn't know what that was, though.
I don't, because again, it's stupid, and he's such a Mary Sue. And just because Yang has a model, which means Tenebris doesn't, so he's dead.
Mm.
Just because Yang survives him doesn't make her cool either.
Now, to clarify, I can neither confirm nor deny whether that's an official model.
I'm just go
I have seen a model of her.
Okay, well now I had to check whether they're
I want to put that out there because I feel like that's a fair disclaimer.
Theodore
You're gonna have to
Yang.
spell her right.
I spelled Theodore fine and I pulled it up. So there is no Games Workshop model for the character Theodore. All right, cool.
So it's not
Okay.
official.
I'm
Okay.
not gonna make an assumption.
My apology, viewership. I was kind of under the impression it was, but then it occurred to me that it might not.
Okay. So whatever. Either way.
Yeah.
I don't care about Tenebris, which also I forgot to bring that up when we were talking about Star Wars. How much of a Sith Lord name is Tenebris?
I mean, there was a Sith Lord named Tenebris.
Okay, well there you go. Um, I just
It's been
don't
done,
I
baby.
don't care about how cool you want to make
They
Tenebris.
have to apply toward when they rate they make these novels, they're primarily trying to sell their miniatures first and
Right,
foremost.
but there's no
But
there's no Tenebris novel.
but in lieu of that, then they have to appeal to the audience that whether they're niche or not. And I'm sure there is I know they're not niche. They're a majority of chaos enthusiasts, let's call them. You're wrong, of course, and you should feel bad about it. At me, I don't care. You should be an emperor bother and you should love the emperor. The fact that you don't is just
I just like you can have good chaos characters without making them more and more and more more special and untouchable.
I know.
He literally like at this point, he's on par with some characters that are just like Lucius.
Uh,
Where it's just like, dude,
Lucius the Eternal.
I
Yeah.
don't care how cool you tell me this guy is. He's not.
To be clear, I never once thought he was cool,
It
and to
doesn't
a
you
not I know, but to a point, in the Horus Heresy novels, they really do a great job of showing what a piece of shit he is too. So they don't ever really paint him in a positive light.
I just mean in his chaos acts. Like I don't care how cool you tell me this guy is, he's still lame.
I mean, he's lame as hell, yeah.
It's just like Well, everybody recognizes the Erebus is lame. Everybody in the galaxy knows Erebus is lame.
Even Horus.
Yeah,
Horus ripped his face
everybody
off.
everybody is aware of how lame Erebus is, even the members of Chaos.
Even Erebus.
Even Erebus does know that he is a joke, but that's why he's a jobber. But everybody is like afraid of Tenebris, and he's so not cool.
He's boring, yeah.
He's just like, oh, I already handled this. I mean, I kind of bled out a little bit. That was pretty rough, but I have here's my biggest problem. Okay, he waltzes in there, he snatches the one advantage that the Imperium had. So it's like, okay, so all this was literally for a negative amount of anything because all they did was lose resources. And what did they get? They killed a couple chosen. Cool. That won't be difficult to fix quickly. Anyways, is that like we went through this thing of Tenebris doing this ritual and getting this mutation and then making a potion and then doing another ritual and he's supposed to be weak. He's supposed to be in a near death state and all he does is waltz in there and nothing happens to the guy.
So, yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think to say is that he was written up with the fact that he's the hand of Abaddon. He has to have something going for him. I agree with you. I'm merely putting that out there.
You have to give your characters cost. Otherwise, if they get to do whatever they want to do and nothing actually happens to them permanently,
In this novel, no. In future novels,
if
yes.
I have to wait till novel 8 for something to happen, I'm just gonna be angry
Prepare to be angry.
because, like, that's a waste of
It's either 7 or 8, but prepare to be angry.
man, Moloch dies in the first chapter of Radnor
Yeah.
for the first time of, like, 4.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, like,
I get it, death don't have permanency for chaos
I
people.
mean, that's fine, but, like, at least kill him.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I think, let me answer this question and then let's move on.
Oh, yeah. It's
Uh,
a question here. It's not just the rant of why I dislike them.
yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's good stuff. I agree with it wholeheartedly. Like I said at the beginning of this, you wouldn't believe how on the same wavelength we are at times, and then when we're not, it's a complete deviation. But like in this instance, we are on the same wavelength. For my part, this novel struggled to pull out of me a sense of stirring in regards to emotion. Maybe it was because the past month has been particularly busy for me and my time wasn't focused on this one, or perhaps it's something else. If anything, I felt it was more an act of getting through this than anything else. Yes, leaps and bounds better.
This
Uh,
this this felt a lot like the first book Haley wrote. the first book, where you're seeing a lot of stuff that's being set up for later.
Mhm. Finishing up though, I wouldn't say it was a slog per se, but it definitely started dragging me into a state of boredom. Likely around the time the Black Templars were featured is when I started cluing out. They bore me fiercely. Just do not care for them.
If they had gone with the Torchbearer fleet and then had been there for like the whole thing to break down, that would have been a lot more entertaining.
Also, would probably would have been more of the book being wasted. Well, waste is a strong
Well,
word.
I just feel like he would have been there with the custodian and the actual marshal. Like we would have gotten some more interesting perspectives.
Yeah, you can't get more heretical than killing a custodian guard, though.
Yeah, like I
I was
don't
like, whoa, line crossed.
because like then they could have turned into a whole like somebody killed the custodies and like it becomes a murder investigation. That'd be a lot more interesting than what we got.
Make its own book
Because
at
like
that point.
because like that ship blowing up didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, it was just nothing. It just didn't mean anything. There was no gain by the Imperium, there's only a loss.
I mean,
Chaos got exactly what they wanted.
it's important to remember this is a grimdark setting. Sometimes that happens, and that happens frequently, frankly, but it happens. That's kind of the point of the setting.
Right, but this is supposed to be a 7-book series. This was I think the 4th book had come out before we'd known that there were gonna be more than
Well, I can't sit here and say that it's not going to ferment into something that will be satisfying in terms of closure for you.
I mean, it won't because I know that nothing comes of it regardless.
I mean, there is revelations towards the end that are relevant when we discuss them, but
Yeah, well, I'll believe in Revelations when Abner releases the 3rd book of the McQuinn trilogy this
ugh,
decade,
maybe
maybe,
he,
before he's dead.
it's going to come out even after he dies. Regardless, let's move on. What themes stood out to you in this book, and how well do you think the author explored these themes?
The theme's always a difficult question.
Yeah, you either got you want me to go first on this one to give you some time.
I mean, no, let me rebel something out, I guess.
I mean, no, just let me do this because like I want you to just like think about it.
Well, no, I think my answer is the same as the way that I feel about the writing.
Okay.
The theme for me is just a new setting of the board. It's a new start to this
Mm-hmm.
next leg of the
Yeah.
journey. It's been 5 years into what we understand is like a 12-year series of events,
Roughly. Yeah.
loosely.
Yeah.
Um, and so like we're just setting up for the next stage.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that means anything, a lot of people are moving on to the next steps of what it will mean for their life. Um, Lucerne is going to join the Templars. It's just the next step of things he wants to do. Fabian is stepping into his role as a solo individual rather than working as a group. He's being trusted with more, even though Goulman's like, "Hey, in no way, shape, or form are you to take Fabian to the Pariah Nexus. Period. Don't do it."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why would I do that? I don't know why. I'm just telling you, don't. Uh,
Something's gonna happen if he does. Sure. What?
the end of the book series is going to happen if you do. So don't do it until we get through 5 more books,
Yeah.
and then Plague War happens after that. Anyways, and then like who else is there? Rostov. Rostov is finally gets a lead in his investigation, even though it comes to mean literally nothing other than the final revelation of there's more than one.
Which is important context, but yeah, I could see how that would be frustrating from an outside
It's like
view.
cool. This doesn't mean anything useful.
Yeah.
Other than this guy's probably responsible for Fleet 4 blowing up repeatedly. Probably. But like that didn't feel like whatever. It's the next step in his investigation. And
Yeah.
then I guess technically Yang and Tenebris enter the next stage of their apprentice mastership.
Safe to say that's a pretty good bridge. This was
Even
definitely a bridge novel, like you
yeah,
said.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, so that would I guess be the theme of like setting of the stage,
hmm,
next steps, that kind of thing.
okay, so on my end, I clocked 4 or 5 themes.
Oh god.
I
Let's just take a best hit of 3.
I'm giving you 2.
Fair.
The clash between hope and despair during the crusade comes to mind as the core theme. As the emergence of the psychic star child stirs hope in the Imperium and those operatives aware of it, fanatical dark forces of the Dark Cardinal, i.e., Corferon, rush to try and destroy it. That's the core. There was, like I said, about 4 more. I'm going to say 1 more. There is also this theme of gods and mortals, specifically exploring how grand godlike events are experienced and influenced by the lives of individual mortals. So we see that play out mostly with the subplot with the Black Templars and such. But these, again, just simple examples of the two themes I clocked. But I do believe that Guy Haley, for his part, did a very thorough job in exploring those two themes. I can't speak for the other three, but like the other two, they it was pretty on point, on brand. And leave it to Guy Haley to be very good at exploring themes in a novel. I noticed that Andy Clark did a good job, but Gav Thorpe struggled hard with the theme, in my opinion, with the Wolf Time. But that's just because I feel like the entire prose and the entire novel didn't need to
We may have been
exist.
able to do it if we'd actually done the thing that was on the tin.
Or, gee, I don't know. Hindsight's a bitch, because they're now talking about the possibility of a Crimson Fist refresh,
Okay.
which
That's
when we
good,
talked about the Wolf Time, one of
I
our,
guess.
yeah, when we talked about the Wolf Time, one of our main complaint was, why did we make this about the Space Wolves? We knew why, but why didn't we make it about the Crimson Fist and them getting reinforced? Well, lo and behold, it's now stirring in the rumor mill that they're getting a refresh, so it surprises nobody that, they do what they do because of model sales. But I genuinely understood the theme of this novel inherently better than I did the previous novel. Again, just a credit to Guy Haley. Moving on. If you could give this book a different title, Chamlin, what would it be?
Okay, so this one is actually harder than the other ones.
Oh, is it?
It is. Well, the other ones are very like even Wolf Time, even though it took a second to actually think of something, but like First Rules would be better than Wolf Time.
Mhm.
Right? Nothing stood out too much other than that would be like, yeah, that'd be a good title. Cause like you'd almost want to replace Throne with maybe like Child because they bring up Star Child.
Yeah.
But that's biased because I care more about that than anything else, even though I know it's not gonna amount to anything. You could replace it with something like Throne, like something of faith, because this book deals so much with the nature of faith, both imperially and chaotically. And so I finally came down on you Throne of Light exists because of the Astronomicon stuff,
Mhm.
which don't get me
Mhm.
wrong is interesting, but like we're not on Terra, it doesn't matter. Like
Yeah. Nope.
it's ancillary.
Yeah.
It's a nothing of a title because we're not on Terra, even though
It's a nothing. It's a
we're
nothing
talking
burger.
about
Yeah.
the Emperor. We are dealing with the Astronomicon, but like, eh, words of faith.
Mm.
It's a very generic title, but it's more fitting to what is done in the novel on both sides, imperially and chaotic.
Okay. So apart from last episode's answers, which I feel like I just knocked those out of the park. I couldn't stop writing titles for the Wolf Time in every other regard apart from that. So the Avenging Sun, with the second book, which names Gate of Bones, and this, the Throne of Light. Hats off to you. I think you nailed this one because my answer is just nonsensical. Frankly,
I want to hear it at least.
Dark Cardinal,
Dark Cardinal. I mean, yeah,
the Dark Cardinal.
if it's
Um,
taken the field,
exactly.
I would have.
It doesn't fit the theme.
You
That's the
know what? If
problem.
you want to go off of that, you could just like the Chosen.
That's a
It
probably that's
fits
a,
both.
see what I mean? Like I leave the titling to you, but if you want to laugh, leave it to me. But like I can't for the life of me take this question seriously. Apart when I do, it just doesn't make any sense at all. It kind of hurts me. I think my exact wording was Dark Cardinal seems like a solid enough title given the featuring of Corfarin pretty consistently. But even then, I feel like that's not true because like he's featured, but he's
He's
not.
secondary for
He's
Tenebris.
he's secondary to Tenebris. Yeah, he's a tertiary character. So like, I don't know. I really liked your ideas though. That they're much better. Swing and a miss for me. Chamlin took it to the home plate.
But
Yeah, How did the book compare to others you've read by the same author or in the same genre? Now, at this point, we've had one other book in this series that was written by Guy Haley, and it was Avenging Sun, just to clarify.
yeah, let me see his blank library novels. I'm typing into Google. Um, I don't care about your cookies, even though I hate you.
Cookies are good. What are you talking about?
Let's see here. I haven't read any of that. I haven't read any. I read that we're talking about right now. I haven't read that, even though it's right over there. Oh, I read that fair. Oh, we talked about this like the first time. Wait, yeah,
you
it's the same answer.
you had a diatribe about
It's
that,
the same answer.
I think I
Like
said,
I read Alfarius.
and you
That's what
enjoyed it. You enjoyed it. You said
Alfarius
it
is
was
a
good.
good little novella. I think Cayley works better in novellas because he doesn't have to draw on about everything.
I don't think that's his problem so much,
I don't know
honestly.
if it's a problem, but based on the novella I read versus the 2 novels I've read.
Now, I think personally, Andy Clark should have been given like more than one swing at the bat. I think he gets like one more in this series. Don't quote me on that. He wrote The Gate of Bones, the one that we gushed over pretty
It's a good
solidly.
book.
It's a great book.
It's a good follow-up to the first one.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely was the first book that was the second for some reason. But I digress. At this point, we've read, as I've mentioned, one other book by Guy Haley. That's Avenging Sun. Personally, I think Throne of Light is a better novel because it seems more relevant to the Indominus Crusade. That and the fact they cover the Star Child, which is a very old concept, once thought to be retconned by GW.
I mean, it was. Rostov literally brings up the retcon,
Yeah. Well, what is it? How do you say it? I don't remember.
the cult of illumination.
That's right.
That's literally, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
He brings up the thing.
I'm just, I'm happy that the Star Child is
Don't
back.
worry, it won't mean anything.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, because I know that nothing in the last 10 years has meant anything in relation to the Star Child, so it's certainly not coming up in this novel.
Well, this novel came out in 23
It
or 22. It hasn't been that long.
oh, let's see here. I'm gonna open my book, check the copyright date.
It's certainly not been 10 years.
2022. Yeah, but, like, whatever. Gathering Storm is very old.
They're merely making into novel form the thing that was already put into aforementioned, like, books. Yeah, we know, we've had this
Right,
discussion.
I know, so I know it's
Um,
not gonna mean anything.
okay,
It'll mean something as nebulously, possibly positive as, "Hey, guess what? There's a Fulgrim clone, but it's stuck in the middle of a flaming trash can."
yeah. A kleptomaniac robot. Yeah, so, were there any quotes or passages that particularly resonated with you, and if so, why?
Agatha's I'm guessing it's her eau de camp. I can't remember her technical title.
It's
I
her
think she uses the phrase, I'm her eau de camp."
I mean, she's genuinely the XO of the ship.
Yeah.
She is the second in command.
Um I like her phrase when Fabian's like, "Wait, we'll actually have dinner?" It's like, "Yeah, there's no reason for I'm from the Navy. There's no reason to hold a grudge because you could just be dead." Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Life is short, and I'm not expected to live long.
Life is short, and I don't have a lot of chances to meet men that aren't under my direct command, I
Exactly.
guess.
No, that's precisely the
I
reason.
guess.
It's like, look at
It's
that.
her phrasing.
Well, I can't do a I can't do Astartes because that's not their thing. And you're here. Thumbs up.
So
Yeah,
you're alright looking.
you're okay. Apparently,
Luce
he's
Luce
pretty.
Well, I mean, Lucerne raises the point of just like, well, you actually have tone, or the Cadishan dude that trains them. It's
Yeah,
like, well, when you came here, you were this like
yeah.
Wimbly scribe of a human who didn't have like nearly enough muscle mass on him.
He had a pouch apparently.
Yeah, it's like now you're physically fit and you could actually probably survive a fight 1 out of 3 times. So you're doing all right.
Listen, if the Catechin sergeant is proud of the results,
Yeah,
you did good.
right. Like Fabian is
When his biceps are, and I quote, the size of Fabian's head. Yeah, you did good, son. You did real
exactly.
good.
Like Fabian, I'm sure looks all right.
Yeah.
I'm sure he looks passably fit.
Yeah, as stated earlier, I enjoyed the simple exchange between Rostov and the Warden. Subtle dread and soul searching in equal measure. This bit made me genuinely stop doing what I was doing at the time and just listen, just thoroughly enjoying it. If I had to guess as to why this was, perhaps I'm a sadist. Perhaps I just appreciate the depths Rostov would go to in order to get his man. Not that it really ended without him having another trail to follow at the end of the novel, but such is the life of the Inquisitor.
Because I'm watching all of the Universal horror movies
Mm,
because it's spooky month and we're
yeah.
recording this right now. That exchange of Rostov to the dude feels 100% as something that would be like, Yeah, well, I'm investigating this monster, and you're a little Burgermeister, and I don't care. Like, Van Helsing would say this to some Burgermeister who's, like, yanking him around
Yeah,
about Dracula.
yeah.
It's like, "You don't seem to understand just how much I don't care about your existence.
Doesn't care a wink.
So here's what you're gonna do,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna come back."
Listen, you gotta hand it to Guy Haley here. He really did a very good job of encapsulating the sheer subtlety and dread that some inquisitors are known for. And I do appreciate that, as I have stated. But yeah. Would you recommend this book to others?
As a first book? Probably not.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a bad book. I can't say it's a bad book. It's not it doesn't have nearly as much, like, depth as other stuff, but frankly, I can't recommend a book like this to somebody and it have that bathtub scene
Yeah.
and just be so gobsmackingly stupid. I say stupid, it's just like it's just astounding.
Yeah, no, listen, we rehashed on that, but I'm inclined to agree with you in that one respect because that really makes it difficult
But
to explain.
but you can't like, you would recommend it and they'd be like, "What was up with that bathtub thing?" It's like, "Okay, so, like, I don't know."
They it might be just like me and just completely gloss over it. I'm like, "Oh, well, that happened, whatever." It didn't, and when again, I can't stress this enough. The first time I read it didn't mean a damn thing to
First
me.
time I read it, it literally stopped me in my tracks, and I was like, "I am not about to read what I think I'm about to read,
I
Alan."
genuinely believe this is a preference issue then, because I didn't feel like it was so off-putting at the
It
first.
was just stupid. I was
I
like,
mean, not like not denying it's stupid.
it took this little amount, dude? Like,
I
come on."
Perfect example, I want to go ahead and have a lark of a guess as somebody who doesn't understand what psychological and physical torture over the course of conceivably half a year will do to somebody and how they'll reply when they're given everything. I don't think that's an accurate description by any stretch of the
I don't
imagination.
know, man. We have plenty of, like, replies from people who were in Vietnam
Well
POWs
well, this
and
is my
still had
point.
some fucking backbone.
This is my point. This is my point. I was about to say is like there is circumstantial evidence of people who were POWs that when they came back to like comfort and normalcy, they didn't get it. They didn't overindulge. They didn't do the things that this Gavamore guy did. It makes no damn
I'm
sense,
just saying he coulda gotten some, like, fresh water
right?
in the tub.
Presumably he did after a couple soakings, I assume. First
But, like,
first off, why didn't he get a shower
they make
first?
it really clear that cleaning took place in the nasty water.
I know, I know.
Nurgle would have been so happy.
I believe he was happy. I believe Nurgle is always happy when
I mean,
stankiness is
Nurgle's
around.
just happy, period, but, like, yeah,
He is called
he's a happy
grandfather
boy.
for a reason, right?
He's a little happy boy.
He's a little happy boy. Yeah.
But anyways, that's why I can't. Because like, when I read it, I was like, "W what?"
Yeah. So
It was the Jackie Chan "what" meme.
yeah. So I would recommend this book, but within a different spin of, what we've just discussed. Because is it the first 40K book I would recommend? Hell to the no. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Mainly because it would put off a normal
You
person.
got too much faith talk about
Yeah.
her nature, so you gotta get some
Yeah.
stuff off.
So
Yeah.
following this logic though, for somebody who is versed, let's say mediocrely
It's in
in 40K, yeah, like if
I
it
would
mean
say it's journeyman. It's in
I feel it adds to the mythos of the universe pretty well, which is, that's good job spelling out which each side aims for in their never-ending struggle. Uh, yeah, that's why I'd recommend it basically.
It brings up the Star Child again,
Exactly.
which is a theoretical pipeline to getting more people to read Inquisition more.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, frankly, there was a lot about Inquisition War that we could have done without, but there were some good points to it, and Star Child bit was one of them. But yeah, how did you feel about the book overall?
Like you said, overall, not a lot happened. There's only one major thing that happened.
Yeah,
The battle at the end. And even then, the Imperium lost its only advantage, which they've not had any advantage at all other than Ghoulman existing.
yeah,
Um, which is frustrating because, like, I know the Imperium's always on the back leg, but, like, Come on, come on.
I hear what you're saying,
Let 'em
but
have something.
I hear what you're saying,
I
but
don't care if they lose it
come
it
on.
I don't care if they lose it in the next novel, but we could have lasted a novel of them having some kind of advantage in the chaos, directly taking an obvious L other than like, "We're retreating from this planet."
But that's what Gavamore was.
No, Gavelmore, they got exactly what they wanted. You know what they wanted? They wanted the ring. You know what they still have? The ring!
And yet they lost the battle. I don't you got I
Cares about the battle when you get the thing you want.
it's surprising me a little bit that and I won't say you're tripping over it because like you're not. You get it. But like I'm surprised that the grimdark aspect of a grimdark's book is what's getting
It
you.
just doesn't. I have a very particular definition of grimdark, and this doesn't feel grimdark. It feels like a waste of time, given that the rest of the book had so much nothing in it.
Well, I mean, defeat with nothing gained is
Like
grimdark.
grimdark is the Black Templars literally lighting a torchbearer fleet on fire because they disagree.
Also grimdark, yes, yes. I mean, there was a whole lot of grimdark.
Cenobus walking in there and being like, "Actually, you know what? I don't care that all the psychers are dead. I'm going to get what I want because war."
Mhm.
That's lazy.
Warp spaghetti, gotta
That's
love it.
lazy,
It's lazy writing, yeah, but
and I don't like it because it just means that the Chaos has had their advantage since Gate of Bones. They've
yeah,
had the ring since Gate of Bones.
yeah, but they only used it one time, and that was during the
Yeah,
Battle of
well,
Gavin.
they're working on,
They are
but they still
conceivably
have
working
it.
in.
They
Yeah,
didn't lose it.
that is correct.
It hasn't been stolen from inter chaos fighting.
Yep.
The Imperium had a single advantage,
Mhm.
and they lose it in the same novel.
Listen, I get what you're saying.
So
I
yeah,
just like so basically it comes down to you just don't like how the story ended up. Maybe not so much the setting itself.
well, yeah, I like 40K as a setting.
Yeah, I don't mean it like that. I mean the correlation, if nothing
Oh,
else.
I mean, like the majority of the book, like the only major event of the novel was a letdown
Yeah.
because of just writing.
Mm.
Now that's not commentary on Guy Haley's ability to write.
I don't think this is a writing error either.
It
Genuinely.
was just like, okay, so nothing. The thing that was gained was lost, so ergo it's a neutral amount, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
Tenebrous didn't lose anything. Tenebrous gained. He wasn't weak enough to like get shot by Rosself or something.
It could be argued he
He
lost
def-
more of his humanity, but
little
I'm
example.
pulling at you at this time. I'm pulling strings.
Like they could have at least had Rostov actually shoot the dude and him be like, "Man, if I was in better shape, that wouldn't have even hit me. But all right, I'll let you have this one, and I'll see you next
No,
time."
instead Rostov breaks his legs jumping from a what was it, a bridge? What
He
was what?
jumped off of a bridge into the network cabling below to hopefully get into the silo and not fry himself in the
And then like drags himself
on broken
own
leg.
broken legs and does something really clever actually to escape. But
Right, yeah, and that's fine, but, like, they could have at least given even some and then the stupid Athame thing was like, "I actually have an Athame too. I'm super special. I'm super special, yeah. I have an Athame."
guys, I don't mean to make this about me, but I'm kind of a big deal. Pops collar.
If they had made a point of, like, actually getting every hand of Abaddon has an Athame because, Abaddon trusts us to have one. Like, doesn't that make sense? And she could've been like, "Oh, yeah, I guess that does make sense. I should have thought of that." It's like, "Yeah."
You know, there's a lot of points you're making tonight that do get mentioned later.
I mean, that's
Unfortunately,
fine.
and because it's not mentioned now, it does a disservice to you.
Because it's not brought up now, it's just why did I wait essentially three-fourths of a novel to get to
Mhm.
the Monuments event where the net value of this book is neutral.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so I would ask your perspective, but you kinda nailed that one. I'm gonna go with understandable frustration and dissatisfaction at ending.
Overall, I was dissatisfied because like, okay, so nothing happened.
Yeah, for my part, I enjoyed it the first time I read it, but alas, this at this point, it would be 3rd. That was a mistype. So, the second time I read it, like I said earlier, I read it so, like, I could discuss the bathtub scene with you because I glossed over it. Admittedly, I was doing some heavy lifting and working whilst, listening to the audiobook the second time around, so I was able to just, listen to it and divulge it a little bit more. Maybe it's just how I am, but in terms of what it was for the third time. Admittedly, it was a bit of a slog for me, as I mentioned. In terms of topic perspective, I'd wager it did something for me in regards to the Star Child theory, especially the first time I read it. Personally, I like the idea of the Emperor coming back in some form to whip Chaos's ass, but I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, and honestly, Games Workshop are too cowardly to do it. So that's where I stand with this novel.
I mean, if Games Workshop can't kill Han Solo, they're not going to bring the Emperor back.
Mm, hmm. True, true that. Or they do it too many times.
Can't kill Han Solo more than once.
I'm talking about the Emperor. Were there any plot twists that surprised you in
The
the
bathtub scene. It surprised
was that
me.
what was the twist about? Mm.
Like legit, like that happening was like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah,
This is how we get this guy to turn to chaos,
yeah.
and that's all it took.
How did it affect your understanding of the story?
Apparently, you need literally nothing to turn to chaos.
Oh, for some people, it's just that easy. It's just that simple. But for others, they have a backbone. Couldn't nail down a plot twist whilst I was going through this questionnaire. And like right before I came over here.
I mean, technically speaking, like anybody who doesn't know a lot would say Star Trek
Uh huh. Yeah.
because this is like the first time they really mentioned it.
Yeah.
But like, as somebody just reading the book who has the background and the information that I do, yeah, the thing of just like this is all it takes to fall to chaos, and for them to be like, "Nah, you're not being disingenuous." Like, no, no, this is the minorest amount that you need. This is your signing your name in Black Tom's book.
Yeah.
Is you just saying, "Yeah, sure, I give up."
Hmm.
I'm sorry. He exclaimed emphatically. That's the wording in the.
I know. God, and we're gonna go with that for you. Was there a serious twist, or that is?
I'm sure it was serious. I'm sure, unfortunately, it was very serious.
Okay, okay. As I said, I couldn't nail down a plot twist for this book, which is surprising because I've done so for every single one of these. It literally took me 10 minutes before coming here to figure out that there was the bit with the Black Templars at the end where we turned on our own brothers because we're crazy.
They laid that on really thick early on, but then they gave you that fake out of like, so we're not going to do this in the reactor. All right, I guess it's like, actually, it was me the whole time. Like, okay, we knew it was you. We
Yeah,
just thought you
no,
were going to do this sooner.
I know, like, it's just this honestly feels like a backhanded compliment coming from me. I've already said it, I'll say it again. This subplot didn't need to happen, but I'm glad it did because it showed us that there were Astartes out there that would go to extremes to fight Call's upgrades.
I mean, the Space Wolves did the same thing.
They didn't kill their own
I
brothers.
mean, true, but they were about ready to. Like three.
Yeah, but, like, leave it to the Wolves of Fenris to straddle the line, but then not pass it. Whereas the Sons of Dorne, regardless if they're Black Templars or not, they always seem to just pass right through that
You think the
non-existent line.
Marine?
They don't care about
You
lines.
think the Marines malevolent didn't go down without at least somebody getting punched in the face?
For sure, there was some killings there,
There you
but
go.
and to be honest, we do see a Marine malevolent in a future novel, and he's a piece of shit. Shocker. And, I will say no more. It's in one of my favorite novels of the series, too, but, whatever. Did you find the author's writing style engaging? Yes or no?
I mean, it's as engaging as the first book,
Yeah,
which was like, meh. Like it's a lot of pieces all moving around a lot.
yeah.
It's engaging in a novella, but the way that they have him write these is, there's just too much stuff.
I don't exactly agree with that, but, like, I understand where you're coming from.
He also needs to learn how to write a romance.
But the twist of fate wasn't doing it for you?
Look, man, I'm just saying we get Night Lord stuff, and it's pretty
Well,
solid.
Gathorpe has always been a little neurotic, I feel, but, like, that's neither here nor
He could
there.
have written that bathtub scene, and it would have been palatable.
I agree.
There you go.
I agree. Nothing to add there. That Gav Thorpe bathtub scene. Guy Haley has, you guessed it, simple and clean prose that really gets the blood pumping for me. Um, I'll say it again till the dogs come home, and even after, when the cows also come home. If it's simple and clean, it's good prose. I don't like the overindulgence of like excessive verbiage in things that I listen to, let alone things that I may or may not write in the future or in the past. Such as it is, that's not the case for everybody, but I feel that, that defines Guy Haley as a writer. He does a very good job of doing that. What else we got here? Did you learn from this book? What did you learn from this book that you didn't know before? How about that?
Stuff about the black ships and the astropath.
You didn't like there was no I mean, to be fair,
Black ships
was
have literally not been described in the level of detail that this novel describes.
I was about to say I can't recall either. Read a lot of stuff, but the black ships are always like,
Enigmatic.
yeah,
Um,
they're
and there's
mysterious.
never been too much about astropathic choir areas, save for the Shira Calpurnia novel
Yeah, yeah.
that deals directly with it.
Excellent point there. I didn't realize until I read this book the very first time that the Star Child was not fully retconned out. I mean, it was. We discussed this, but
They
like,
just brought it back up.
yeah, no. But what I'm saying is like I thought it was done and gone
It
forever.
was done and gone for like 15 years.
Longer than that, I'm sure.
No, the retcon came in like 6th edition
Mm,
when they were just like, "Stop asking us about the Star Child. The Cult of Illumination was a Zechian plot. Done. Bye. Quit asking." It was 5th or 6th edition,
yeah,
and so then they were like, "Ah, I guess we'll bring it back."
whatever. If people like it, bring it. That's what it did for me. So, man, given 40K has an extensive RPG collection, what would you pull from this novel for a game?
I mean, I pulled stuff directly from the Black Ship stuff for stuff that happened there on 5.
Yeah,
What else did I made a note of something else I pulled for it. Oh, the Athane. The concept of an Athane bit cutting through dimension so you could get around. I used that, on a couple of the Alpha Legion character one of the Alpha Legionnaires, which was which one was it? Oh, it was no, I can't remember his name. There was that one that was, like, 5 separate people, but it was the same character.
yeah.
They had it.
The cheeky answer would have been, well, obviously he was Alfarius.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it was, Farius, that was Luther, that was the champion, that was the other person they were also in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was, cheeky. Well, we're all Alfarius. Even the dog. No, he's called Omegon. Anyway, I feel like the bits with Rostov's investigation would be a good source to pull from in terms of like how it was formatted. Not inherently any system, like frankly, you could do it for most systems outside of like only war.
The first bit, yeah.
Well, I liked it because it was and it kept the story going forward. Like, there are, as you are well aware, investigative plots that we've read in 40K novels where it just doesn't go anywhere, and it doesn't really serve the purpose of the main story or the main protagonist in some cases. On this one, I feel like it did, and I feel like it's a good example of, like, utilizing it for future projects. Let's see here. Coming up on the second to last question. All right, you ready? This is the penultimate. What scene would you like to see animated? And so help me God, if you say the bathtub
Oh, man,
scene, I'm gonna start to think
here's the
you're
thing.
neurotic.
If I was gonna say a scene like that, I would say the Night Lord scene, because 'cause I'd rather see that than I would this.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you?
yeah, frankly, yeah. Yeah. There's nothing to be gained by seeing that visually except
No,
for sickness of mind.
an actual scene, let's see here. Couple bit that would be most I don't know about most interesting, but I get to see the attack on the black ship,
Hmm,
the initial bit with, like the moment that the alarm klaxons start going and you just read, like, the Sister of Song starts running through the ship.
that's a void combat scene.
It's not full combat. It's a strike team. They teleport in.
My brother and the God Emperor, that is still a boarding operation.
Yeah, but
Therefore, it's a void
I
scene.
don't wanna see anything outside of the ship.
I get it. And in that regard, I suppose it's safe. But
It's
to be
not even
clear,
technically boarding when you teleport in.
any type of boarding operation within the technicality of the tactical acumen involved is a void battle or a battle of
I
like
mean,
sea.
sure, but if I had read a sentence that was outside of the ship, I would have been bored.
Fair. Got any others?
Hmm, Nothing's really coming to mind. Because anything else that I can think of is loosely associated with Tenebris, and I don't want to see anything about that other than like maybe Tenebris and Corferon's conversation, where like he explains that Tenebris is like what you have is you're a tool,
Hmm.
but not in the way that you want to be.
Yeah.
What I am is a tool, but that's all I want to be, and that's why the gods don't give me mutation.
Just when you say it in that context, while I do understand what you're saying, for some reason that visualized in my head like Thor talking to like one of his little servants, Thor, the god of thunder, and he's like, "Look at my gains, bro. Aren't they awesome?" And
Well,
he's like, "Yeah, Thor, they're you're pretty stacked, bro."
Phaeton, he doesn't care about looking young. He doesn't care about having powerful mutations.
Yeah.
He cares about serving the gods, and the gods see that, and they just give him power.
Yeah.
He doesn't need anything other than power.
I mean, the man survived the heresy. At this point, he can like do whatever the hell he wants.
Right. But he's proven himself, and he just makes a point to Tenebris where he's like, "You think you have power, and you technically do, but not the way that I have freedom.
Mhm.
Like I have freedom in my servitude, and you have nothing in your freedom."
Yeah. Yeah, so I have 2, all right? So the first one was, the battle between the Chosen and the Primaris, the one where, Eros gets, like, curb stomped, because I feel like it's always good to see, an Ultramarine. He will be eventually an Ultramarine, just putting that out there. Right now, he's an unnumbered son, but, like, seeing somebody who will eventually become an Ultramarine getting put in their place always puts a smile on my face. I don't know why that is. 'Cause there's nothing wrong with the Ultramarines. They're fine. They're like, bread with water.
It's the problem is that we survived Mount Ward's Ultramarines, so we've still got some.
I feel like they're coming back on the backswing nowadays, but, like,
It's because Mount Ward is no longer singularly in charge of them rather than just like the whole thing.
moving on. The second bit was the part where the Historitors were running for their lives from that one word bearer. I really enjoyed that. 'Cause it's like, first of all, "Why are you here?" It's like, "You were supposed to be evacuated over somewhere safe. You're not safe here." And he's like, "It's fine. We'll continue on with our mission." This is Aros telling Fabian, "You should not be here, run." And then literally the next scene is I wanna say a chosen of a word bearers just bearing down on them, and the Historitors are scrambling like chickens to try and not get their heads chopped off. Or maybe they already did and they just didn't know it. I like that. I like that a whole lot. Last question.
Actually,
Oh, okay.
the duel that Lucerne has with the first dude,
Yeah.
it was well described enough to actually be an interesting end.
Mm, mm. I can see it. Anytime, it's a Black Templar and somebody who is not yet a Black Templar, but eventually becomes Black
Well, it's just
Templar.
because
So,
they describe like each of those things well enough to the point you could be like, okay, so they actually have good choreography to be able to animate this
yeah.
properly,
Yeah.
rather than just like imagine a sword fight.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I like that. I like that. Last question of the night. What would you add or remove from the book if given the option?
Let's see here. I did write down an answer. I would change the Legion focused on in Gates of Bones to let's see, who was at the Isfan? It was Ward Bears, Iron Warriors, and Emperor's Children, right? Because they were there to kill.
Okay,
Uh,
so the lineup of relevant because I just did a lore cast video on
I
this.
mean, there are only three of them, right? Like,
No, there were more. In the drop site massacre, there was almost half of like the current existing legions that eventually did show up. But it first started out as the Word Bearers, the Iron Warriors, and the Sons of Horus.
okay, I would have put like the Sons of Horus in there, or Emperor's Children, or somebody else that was
So like the Black Legion is what you're
somebody
saying.
else that was an Istvan, because we focus so heavily on word bearers in this that having the same chapter in Gate of Bones is just like, I don't need more of them. Give me a taste of somebody else.
Clarification real quick. So It was the Emperor's Children. They were in the main strike force on
Yeah,
it,
I know because they had to go kill
but the
man.
word bearers were there, but they didn't fight. So, like, I mentioned
Well,
them,
the
but
guy was there, so
right, but, like, their entire legion were there.
yeah.
But I get like, they did fight, I don't know.
I would sooner change it to like Emperor's Children because you can basically have that one character and be an Emperor's Children and not be that different.
Okay, so if you're talking about the one that the hunter
No, not
character,
the tank guy.
no, no,
The
no.
new his friend.
Well, there was a character who was the Houndmaster. He strikes me as like an Emperor's
Mhm.
Children character.
I
What?
would change the Legion from Gate of Bones.
Okay, okay, okay.
That way, this is more prudent for being word bearer.
I see what you're saying. Hindsight, got it. Okay.
Because having them be in 2 novels is just like, I don't need more of these guys.
Well, thankfully they switch over to the Death Guard really soon.
Well, that's just because Plague War's coming.
Well, yes, but at the same time, no. But we'll get into that in the next one.
Also, they make this mention where Fabian's talking or Gulman's talking about like, well, we can't have Fabian go to the Prynex because there's like 15 reports on his desk about
I love how
and like a
they
bunch
now address the
and a
death.
bunch of and a bunch of scribes like dropped off, like including this one guy. It's like you could have just mentioned Narwa here. You could have just brought her up because she was there too. You weaklings. Games Workshop can't kill Han Solo and they can't mention Narwa. Justice for Narwa.
Justice for Nora.
Um, but yeah, I would have changed. Like, I don't like we see basically different Marines in all these books so far. Thankfully, we haven't been focusing heavily on Ultramarines every single book. It's just been like, okay, well, this book is about Ultramarines. This book's about, I guess, Gate of Bones doesn't even really have a legion per
Yeah,
se.
yeah.
Has Custodes, which is useful. Then Wolves, and this is about Black Templars. I would have liked to see more variants in the Chaos Legions.
Yeah, no, I agree. I really do. If I had to have something removed from this book, you guessed it, it would have been 100% the Black Templar subplot. Shit was boring with a capital B. Really enough said. I've kind of hammered this one down. Like, and yeah, I frankly, I agree with you. Anything other than the word bearers, please, please, for the love of the Emperor, something other than them or the Death Guard, because
Well, I
I'm
mean,
tired of seeing them. Anything else to add? We got the Grimdark scale we have to do.
yeah. I mean, I guess like 3 or 4
Out of 10 or out of 5?
out of 10 calls. I would say 4, but that bathtub scene knocks you down to 3.
Now I was thinking actually 3.5 myself, honestly, if for no other reason that it tackles Grimdark only because it has to.
Also, the ending is just like, it's not grimdark, it's let me show off my cool OC. Tenebris is somebody's OC, and if I ever meet him, I'm gonna tell him that your character's lame. Games Workshop won't kill Han Solo.
And I think that'll be the final word tonight. So, you like what we do? Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button so you can see our videos come up. Follow us, comment with us on Spotify. Like I said, we got a Discord. It's free for all. Feel free to join it. We like to shoot the shit over there. Thank you again for listening. I have been Decurio Iomhar with Decurio Chamlan, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.